1.
What's up, everyone? I'm Scott,
And I'm Jason.
and you are listening to Liquid Carnage. My friend,
Yes, sir.
the fall is upon us. The weather is changing for the better. I think we had our last hurrah of Indian summer this past weekend, and we are drifting our way into a beautiful fall season.
I sure hope so. And it was nice to have under 100-degree weather in Phoenix today.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it was a balmy 72 up here. So I'm not arguing with it. I appreciate it. Chilly nights, playoff baseball on TV, college football, full swing, NFL full swing. It's my favorite time of the year.
Boy, your Arizona State put a scare into the number 5 Washington, baby.
Yeah, they did. They did, but we still found a way to lose. You know, if we got draft picks for being bad, we'd be the number one overall team picking this year.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got to fucking hate Houston right now.
Yeah, you know what? I'm all right with that. It's the Cardinals will be fine. I would like to get that Harrison kid from Ohio State, Marvin Harrison Jr.
What is he?
But
What position?
he's a wide receiver like his daddy.
I know, but but of all the things we need, do we need wide receiver?
One that's got being compared to Megatron, but with a bigger wingspan.
Okay, maybe. All right, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we can have small receivers, or we can go out and go get a beast like that. So yeah, I say we go get a beast.
We're good.
Yeah, it's good. But it's my favorite time of the year. As we're recording this, the Diamondbacks are in the middle of Game 6 of their National League Championship Series, trying to push it to a Game 7. So hopefully by the time you're hearing this, we are preparing for the World Series.
I'm hoping that we're preparing to beat the Texas Rangers. It would be the first time in history that the road team won every single game.
Oof. Well, for the American League Championship Series.
Yeah, if Texas can win tonight, it'd be the first time in history that the road team won every single game.
You know what I appreciate about these championship leagues series this season, and not to get off topic because this isn't our topic today, but I appreciate that. Well, yeah, the Astros are in their 7th straight ALCS, and the Phillies are in their 2nd straight. It's cool seeing the Rangers come out of nowhere in Arizona. Get in there and make some noise, and they weren't just beat downs. You know what I'm saying?
I guess I could take a little bit of that. However, Texas spent a lot of money to get that lineup, so it's not like they are like the Diamondbacks, who basically have 4 under 25-year-old players on their starting rotation or their starting lineup. I mean, we're not talking about a team that anyone gave a chance for anything. We're talking about a team that didn't spend gobs and gobs of money to get all the biggest name players. And for them to be competing successfully in this playoffs is more impressive to me than Texas, who they spent some money to get those players.
Yeah, Philly's got I think this is the 3rd highest payroll in baseball. And we're in the mid-20s. Yeah,
we're toward the bottom 3rd as usual.
Yeah. What blows my mind with this is that we're considered a small market team or a mid-market team in baseball. But Phoenix is the 5th largest market in the country.
Yeah, I know.
And I this will always forever be my problem with not having a salary cap in baseball, because the rich get richer, and you have to win by building your team and a little bit of luck if you want to usurp one of those major Moneyball teams.
Well, and yet, let's be honest, though, those Moneyball teams, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Boston Red Sox, where were they? Where are they? They're not. 2 of those teams weren't even in the playoffs, and the Dodgers got swept.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, so having the big money does not equate to, it just does not equate to the championships, right? I mean, those kind of things are. It seems like it should be, but it doesn't. Every year, all these big money teams that pay all this money for all these star players, and they're not anywhere closer than the Diamondbacks are this year to the World Series. So
at the end of the day, there can only be one winner. So it's kind of a moot point to where you can spend all the money in the world, but if you don't walk away with that trophy at the end of the season, does it really matter?
Right.
I appreciate the Moneyball aspect of baseball, what the Oakland A's did back in the early 2000s, and how other teams have translated that into how they build their teams. The problem is, though, if you draft a blue chip prospect, we'll say Corbin Carroll from the Diamondbacks, they developed him. He signed an 8-year contract extension before the season started, so he's with us for, quite a while,
Right.
until his mid-30s. But how many times have you seen players get developed and then turn around and in their free agent contract, they get signed by the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, Giants for massive money, and then they don't live up to that contract?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, Albert Pujols is a great example. He signed with the Angels after his prime with the Cardinals. I think he signed with the first 10-year, $350-400 million deal. And I don't think he was ever anything above average.
Well, but they got a World Series. The Angels got a World Series with him, right?
No. They got that World Series in 2002, the year after the Diamondbacks did.
Oh, okay. I thought
that was his second year in St. Louis.
Okay. Well, there you go. And that's the thing, is that all these teams that spend all the money, their prime motivation is one of two things, right? It's either to put the championship caliber team together, and then to drive sales. People will pay money to buy those sales. So I understand why these teams do it. I mean, the Yankees, let's be honest, they have a product that people are willing to spend money on. You have to put a good product on, or they're not going to spend the money.
What gets me about baseball, it's if you're a team, we'll use the Rockies, for example, because Colorado in the summertime is beautiful. Why that ownership group chooses to be on the lower end of everything, pay scale wise, blows my mind. Because if you could have a team like the Rockies, who the weather's beautiful for 95% of the entire season, maybe a few weeks in April, and then once they get into October, it could get hit or miss. But driving the fans to that stadium, Tom and I went. We were up there over the summer for a matinee against the Astros on a Wednesday afternoon, and I was surprised how many people came from Houston just to go to that game, because it was Colorado, it was summertime, and where else would you rather be in Colorado in the summertime than outside watching a ball game?
Was it packed?
It was about halfway.
Okay.
So it wasn't terrible, but I would figure if you have an environment like that where the weather's consistently good, man, spend the money, get the people in there, and just be a contender, be a place people want to go play,
Right. Yeah. Okay, I get you. I'm with you.
Oh, but what do I know?
You know a lot, my friend. You know a hell of a lot.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm just out here just trying to motivate people and just trying to get people to just do a little bit better in life, to take that step outside their comfort zone and just maybe try that one thing different that changes their whole life.
I have been on a book kick lately, but I've been doing audiobooks because I find that while I love to read books on paper, or like a reader, a Kindle, or a reader, what I'm noticing is that I just I can't get through many books if I'm only reading, even if I set aside 1 hour a day to read paperback or read pages, whereas I can listen to a book at work, or I can listen to a book in car, and I seem to get through more books. Well, lately I've been, listening to some kind of self-help, books on business and finance and trying to, better my skill sets.
Yeah.
And I got into this one book recently that was like, he called it the 10X rule. That any goal you make, any activity you do should be 10 times more than anybody else is willing to do. And, if he was an audiobook, so I could hear his voice, and it was constantly, you can do it. You need to make your goals bigger. You need to make your life bigger. Your actions are bigger. That's what people are losers. They don't make their lives big enough. Anyone can do this, blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't know if you've ever listened to like motivational speakers in the past. When I was in real estate, when I was in the mortgage industry, that industry just thrives on you're a salesman. You're gonna get promoted, or you're gonna get introduced to motivational speaking.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is that there is like just this mentality with motivational speaking that while I get really jazzed up and I'm going to make these changes, it's like a hit of cocaine, right? It gets you energized and
Yeah.
locked up, but then you crash real quick. And I
Yeah.
wonder why these motivational, like if you could you be a motivational speaker, Scott? Could you do that kind of work?
No. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you why. I think everybody is motivated by something different, and you have to be able to find the motivation within yourself. If you think you can motivate other people, man, good for you. But I like you, have heard all those motivational speakers. Who was the guy that you were listening to? What's his name?
Grant Cardone.
He is so good. I have never heard of him. He is such a great motivational speaker. Um, I could not tell you who he is or why I should give a shit what he wants to be motivational about.
Well,
I'm sure he's got a
by
great
the
story.
time I got this book, I'd never heard of him either till I got this book.
You know, and like I said, it all depends on how you present what you're trying to sell as far as motivation goes. But I don't know, man. I don't think I could ever be a motivational speaker. It's not my bag.
Like,
The
what do
older
you
I get,
think
the more I
about
think it's up to people to find their own drive.
what do you think about Tony Robbins? Everyone's heard of Tony Robbins. Very successful motivational speaker. Very successful, personally, financially. He's done very, very well. I always wonder though, like, what made Tony Robbins the expert to become a motivational speaker? Like, where did that come from? Like, what skills did he learn? What life lessons did he learn to become the man that he became over the course of his life?
Yeah. No, I get that. I think it's a great question, but the man's been doing it for what, 35 years, 40 years now.
I mean, I heard about him in the 80s, so it's been at least a good 35 to 40 years.
I say good for him on that, just for the fact that he's found a niche and he's found a way to present his product through books and conferences and whatever else that get people to buy into him. And we've had a few friends that have gone and seen him, and they've come back from those conferences, the speaking engagements, and they are very fired up. So he does his job. He gives them that hit of sales cocaine and makes them feel like they are unstoppable. The problem is though, once that buzz goes away and it's not there anymore, I think if you're not truly motivated, you're not gonna keep up with that kind of intensity. You have to have your own chip on your shoulder.
And that was an interesting point that the guy that I listened to his book, that's what he was saying, is that most people do not put forth the energy that it takes to achieve the 10x goals. And
Yeah.
while I could see, myself being skeptical because I'm a skeptic kind of person. That's why I couldn't follow a cult leader. I have a tough time with people thinking, well, I know everything, listen to me and your life will be. One thing that did ring true is that when I was looking at my own self-reflection, that message of Jason, you're not, maybe part of what's held you back is that you aren't willing to put forth the effort that it needs to be.
Oh yeah.
To get to where you need to be. And so I could take that and say, that should be motivation is Jason, reevaluate your energy level that you put into anything that you do. And if you're not going harder, further than anybody else, then you are missing out on an opportunity to improve, reach your goals, improve your life, improve all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
And go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that what I didn't like about it is that if you're not going full 10x, you're one of the losers of the world.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about motivational speakers is some people think you have to be on their level. I think you said that, and
Mhm.
they have to be moving at a certain pace. I think when if you're moving forward, doesn't matter how you're moving forward as long as you're going that direction you want to go in. We
Yeah,
all have our own
yeah.
pace and we all have our own style. Just because it works for this guy doesn't mean it's going to work for anybody else.
And maybe that's the issue that I run into is that their assessment of whether you're working hard enough towards your goals or not is a subjective opinion.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm sure there's a lot of people who live in this world that are not driven for goals and driven, yet in their mind, they've reached the level of success that means something to them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think once
Which,
you reach that level of success in your own mind, you don't press quite as hard, you know, and if you lose your own like internal fire, it's hard to get that back.
yeah, I mean, there's a great line at the end of the movie Jerry Maguire, that it's kind of a flashback to Jerry Maguire's mentor when he got into the agent game. But the old man is sitting there talking to the camera and he says, in life, I failed as much as I've succeeded, but I love my wife. I love my life, and I wish you my kind of success.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel that these motivational speakers are really good for the rah rah and do this and gotta get yourself up and, do all these things. And yet at the end of the day, we all have to determine what success means to us and maybe be okay with achieving that success. Not their
Well,
success, the motivational speaker's success, but our success.
I think that's what any good motivational speaker will. That's what the first thing they're going to point out is you have to define your own success. I can be as positive and as motivational to you as you want me to be, but if you cannot define your own success, you cannot expect me to inspire you to achieve that success.
Well, but do you think that some people set their goals too low?
Yeah.
Like, do you think that
Absolutely.
achieving your level of success has to put you outside of your comfort zone?
I don't think it has to be put you outside your comfort zone. I think it just has to um, help you keep moving forward at a pace you're comfortable with.
Right,
Because
but I guess that's what I
because
mean is that if your goals are too low, then one, you're probably going to attain them pretty easily, and two, once you've attained them, what's your inspiration to keep moving forward?
I think the difference is though, like this guy's talking about like if you're not going 10x speed to achieve your goals, you're not really trying to achieve your goals. Well, fuck off. If you're going 10 times faster than anybody else doing everything else, are you even enjoying life? Because all these goals you want to go out and go do, if you're not enjoying life, does it even make a difference?
Well, and once again, that's part of the, like you said earlier, what is defining of enjoying life? A lot of people think sitting, hunting in the woods for 6 days, sitting waiting for an elk to show his head and never seeing, that's pure heaven. That's pure
Yeah,
joy. You know what I mean? And so
yeah,
you're not moving fast, you're not moving forward, but you're in a pure state of bliss.
yeah. Because you did the work to be able to take the time to go do that hunt.
Do you
You know,
feel
you,
that
you
do you feel that when you're being, when you want to motivate yourself, that action is the bigger part of the motivation than the thought?
yeah. I mean, you can think about it all you want, but you got to put action into motion and go out and do the things that start you towards your goals. You can think about it all you want, but if you're not going to actually do the work, it's a moot point. You know?
And I think that's what his point was during the book is that, look, anything that you want to accomplish, it's going to take work for you to do. What most people, his belief is the mistake that most people make is that they put forth effort toward not big enough, not grandiose enough goals. So while you achieve your goals, if you ever are sitting there questioning, gosh, I wish I had more, I wish I had more, his argument is then you put your goals way too small for what your dreams are. And that if you want better goals, you need like 10x goals, 10x action. That's what his point was that, the people who really achieve the great successes in this life do not limit themselves by mediocre goals.
Yeah, but that's fine and dandy. But who are you to say what are mediocre goals to somebody? Just because you think someone set their goals too low doesn't mean that person thinks they set those goals too low.
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, and I got to be honest, I'm not very good about goal setting. I
Yeah.
don't set like daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, 5 year, life goals. I probably should. It's kind of like getting in your car and driving without having a place that you're going to. You'll get some miles under your belt, but you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. And that's what I think a lot of people struggle with right now, especially post pandemic. It's, what are we doing? Like, what's going on? Are we allowed to go back to go chase some of those goals or get those life achievements? Or are we still just kind of, hunkered down and driving in neutral?
We talked about this in one of the episodes where we talked about what would you tell the 20-year-old, yourself 20 years ago. And
Yeah.
we were talking about, I'd start putting more money aside. And we kind of came to that realization. It's like, well, wait a minute. I still have 20 years left before I need to retire. Why don't I just start putting the money aside now?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the kind of the same way as, that anything that I want to accomplish, it's never too late to start. Just write it down and act toward it.
Yeah. Right. It shouldn't be that hard, but at the same point, life happens, and sometimes you don't get to go chase your goals because you have to handle life.
Well, and I guess let's play that out. You have to handle life. According to this guy, you should be able to handle your life and handle your goals. If you're not able to do it, it's because you're not putting forth enough energy.
Oh, well, I'm sure that guy just crushes all of his goals and just handles everything in life no problem and doesn't have to sacrifice anything that he really wants to do because he's not chasing his goals.
Yeah, don't you think that most people, most normal people, now let's get away from the motivational side, but most of us have determined, even if we don't write down our goals, we determined that there are certain things that are very important to us. And anytime that we start to feel like we're sacrificing those things to go in a different direction, we're immediately telling ourselves, don't do that.
Yeah.
And is that the right way to live life?
I think it's different for everyone. I don't think nobody can tell a grown adult how to live their life and what choices they need to make. If someone's telling you how to do that or what to do with your life, you're an emotional child. You have to make your own decisions and figure out what's your best path and how you move forward.
Right. But if we're being fair about this, most people do not have that sense of I am completely fulfilled in life.
No, I agree.
In fact, I would argue that even the hugely successful people, even like Warren Buffett or any of these people that you would identify, these people are successful people, feel that they have missed out or have some things that they have not achieved yet, or have not, that their life is not in a perfect state of harmony.
Yeah.
So if we can say that every person is dealing with that sense of, I wish I'd done more, I wish I'd been more successful, then motivational speakers don't have to tell you what that motivation needs to be, but they can give you the tools on how to achieve it if you want to achieve it.
I think my general thought on motivational speakers is it comes down to this. I mean, if you can pack 30,000 people into an arena that want to listen to you, check the box, mission accomplished. You got exactly what you wanted. You got 30,000 people who think that they need to hear your message. Of those 30,000 people, if you get 1%, 3,000 people?
Mm-hmm.
Or 300 people?
300 people.
300 people to actually follow your motivational advice and go forth into the world and do something successful with your words of wisdom, I would think that's what you have to define as success in the motivational world for your actual product. Now, from a business standpoint, your success walking into it because you got 30,000 people to pay to see you speak. What those people do with the words you say are two very different things.
Yeah, and that's a scary proposition that if 300 people are going to do exactly what you say, then 29,700 people are not going to do anything to help make
Yeah.
their lives better.
No, they're going to go out there. They're going to go out there with the sales cocaine, feel good about themselves, and then once it wears off, it's done.
Do,
They're back.
not having to get specific, but do you feel like there's parts of your life that you wish you put more energy and attention into?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody feels like that.
Right. And what kind of things would be helpful for you to achieve or have better results in those areas?
That's a great question.
Because I feel like that while the message, like I enjoyed the book, and once again with every book, I pick out one or two things that mean something to me, and the rest of it I kind of usually just throw aside, like okay, it doesn't relate to what I am. But one of the things that I did think about is, the true expertise of a motivational speaker should not be to make you're not good here, so you're not good enough.
Yeah.
It should be, look, anything you want to accomplish, anything, I'm going to give you the tools to achieve that. That's what I want to help you with. It doesn't matter if your goal is to get $1,000 in your savings account and my goal is to have a $2 million in my savings account. The level doesn't matter of the goal. What matters is the tools that I'm going to give you to achieve those goals.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and
and that's it.
and I think that was the only thing about the guy that while I think that was, a lot of good information. I was put off by well, if you're not achieving my level of success, then you're a loser.
And I think you hit it right on the head. There are
Now, he
always
didn't say
motivational.
that, but that's the way he made me feel.
Yeah, but I think that's where it gets down to. It's what the motivational speakers are theoretically trying to do, and that is give you the tools you need to find your internal motivation to keep it going, not just take the quick hitter and feel good about it for a second, but to feel good about it long enough to actually put the methodology in place, because it takes 21 days to form a habit. So you have to keep up whatever change you've decided for 21 days. And once after that, they say psychologically, what you've started doing becomes a habit.
Do you
So
feel do you feel that you would ever go to a motivational speaker for life?
not intentionally.
Okay, so you have no interest in making your life any better than what you determine as I'm doing what I think is my goal in life, and my skill sets are strong enough that I am good enough to get to where my goals are.
No, I have no desire to sit and listen to somebody tell me how I need to go 10 times harder because that's what they think I should do.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, assuming that there was a motivational speaker that could help you. Because now I'm thinking about it, pastors sometimes are good motivational speakers, right?
Yeah, and, that,
They,
and
they,
that,
they
that's
talk to you about trying to make better decisions to achieve the goals in your life that you want to
yeah,
achieve.
but that's a different context altogether. I think, to just the originality of your question, no, I have zero desire to go pay somebody to tell me what I'm doing, what I need to do better in my life when they've never seen my life on a daily basis. You make sense?
I understand that part. I guess for me, my issue is that I can identify things that I wish I did better in my life that
Yeah.
obviously I didn't have the tools to do that, or I would have done that, right? Or
Yeah.
I did have the tools, but I didn't have the motivation. So I'm okay to at least accept that, there are things that I wish I was doing better. And that because I haven't been able to do it on my own, there might be someone that's out there that can kind of give me those tools or give me the motivation or give me the fire to achieve that emptiness or that sense of not feeling like I've done everything I could possibly do.
Yeah, and if you can go out and you can find that stuff on the internet, whether it's written or spoken, I'd say go for it. But for
Yeah.
me personally, I'm not seeking out someone's essential stand up comedy gig. that's gonna get me motivated.
You don't need someone to stand up and tell you how to get motivated. You will do that on your own, whether
Yeah,
it's through research or reading or whatever.
absolutely,
Got it.
absolutely.
Got it.
So as we wrap up today's show, we want to hear your thoughts. What would you do with a motivational speaker? Would you go see them? Do they get you fired up, or are you just kind of whatever about them? We want to know. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, all at Liquid Carnage. If you have any fun, festive Halloween or even Thanksgiving plans or events going on in the Denver metropolitan area, our EP wants to know about it. Hit him up at liquid_EP on Twitter and the Instagram.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that was good. Well, hopefully by the time we record next week, we are already starting in a World Series where the Diamondbacks are representing the National League, my friend.
Oh man, we can only hope. We got to get through Game 6 and Game 7 first.
That's right. That's right.
So that being said, Jason, take us home.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. We always appreciate you. That was Scott. I am Jason. And as always, if you never know quite what to say,